Right. Welcome, everybody. We are going to get started just for the sake of time today. Welcome to our CLIMAtlantic open house. We're really excited to have you here. I'll just get Moontalker to move to the next slide. Today's webinar is bilingual, so please click on the globe icon at the bottom of your screen to choose your language of choice. You can listen in English or French. Before we begin today, I think it's important to reflect and acknowledge the land that everyone is gathering from. CLIMAtlantic operates in Atlantic Canada, which is on the unceded and unsurrendered homelands of multiple Indigenous peoples, including the Mi'kmaq, the Wolastoqey, the Passamaquoddy, Panawatskoe, and Abenaki, all members of the Wabanaki Confederacy, as well as the Beothuk, the Innu, and Inuit. I welcome everyone to also share your name, and I see some folks are already doing that, as well as where you are joining us from in the chat. So my name is Anna, and I'm the engagement lead with CLIMAtlantic. Today's webinar is an open house where we've invited various CLIMAtlantic team members to come and share about their work and highlight some of the different projects, tools, and free services that CLIMAtlantic offers. After, we will open up the floor for questions, so feel free to use the Q&A box throughout the presentation and add your questions to that Q&A section so that we can get to them at the end of our presentation. This webinar is also a prequel to our summer webinar series on adaptation essentials, where we'll dive into the unique climate change impacts in each Atlantic Canadian province, the difference between mitigation and adaptation, the importance of equity and strong relationships, and tools and free services that CLIMAtlantic offers. Throughout this presentation, our team will also be putting a lot of links in the chat, and we'll make sure to include those in the post-event email in case you want to refer back to them. And so first up of our team of presenters, I'm going to hand it over to Janelle to share about CLIMAtlantic's mission and vision and who we are as an organization.
Great. Thanks, Anna. Hi, everyone. Nice to be here. I'm Janelle Frail, and I am the Engagement Operations Manager with CLIMAtlantic. And to say, too, that I'm a settler in Nova Scotia, specifically residing and playing and working from Sipekne'katik and Mi'kmaq land here in Nova Scotia. So I'll chat briefly about our overall mission and guiding principles that CLIMAtlantic subscribes to. So you can see here on the screen, CLIMAtlantic's mission is to provide those in Atlantic Canada with information and support to consider climate change impacts in their decisions. And driving this mission really is the need for accessible, reliable, actionable climate information to address climate-related risks and support adaptation. So these needs are informed by a wide range of key drivers such as social, economic, and environmental. And CLIMAtlantic's vision is that those in Atlantic Canada are well informed and have access to data, information, tools, and supports, which permit them to respond to climate change impacts through their plans, decisions, and actions, and in ways that are meaningfully address the dynamic, persistent, and inequitable nature of climate change. And the next slide here shows our guiding principles in an infographic format. So our guiding principles help to guide our work and the various projects and activities we take on as a team. And I won't read these out loud. You can see them on our website. But you will notice that as the team talks about the work we do, we relate back to these principles, our regional focus, considering multiple disciplines and perspectives, being flexible and proactive, and focusing on collaboration and partnerships and more, which I'm sure some of you have been part of. All right, the next slide, great. So a little bit about ourselves. We are a climate services hub for Atlantic Canada that provides free support to help all types of communities, municipalities, organizations to consider and adapt to climate change impacts, also helping governments as well at different levels. Some of the services we provide include helping make information accessible connecting people to resources and expertise, listing funding, delivering training, and also fostering networks and partnerships. And one more slide from me. Mataka, if you can go to the next one. Thanks. All right. And this is a picture of our team, and we're expanding. We're hiring 4 more people to join our team. It's quite remarkable. So a big part of who we are as an organization is the fantastic variety of team members throughout the whole of the Atlantic region. And you're going to meet a few others after me. And working on various projects and initiatives. And we keep adding more, as I mentioned. You will hear from a few of our team members today on some of the current and ongoing work. These presentations are just a high-level overview and not a comprehensive list of everything that we're doing. But hopefully it does give you a sense of what our organization does and how we can support you. And I'll now pass it off to Jenna to talk about provincial specialists in general and their role with CLIMAtlantic.
Thanks so much, Janelle. So at CLIMAtlantic, we have provincial specialists in each of the 4 Atlantic provinces, including myself, Jenna. I'm the New Brunswick provincial specialist. And we also on the call have Saper Kosravi, the Newfoundland specialist, who will also speak with you today. We have Alex Cadell in Nova Scotia and Stephanie Arnold in Prince Edward Island. We're also currently in the process of hiring a new Labrador specialist to have all regions of Atlantic Canada represented. So as provincial specialists, what we do is respond directly to the needs of those that reach out to CLIMAtlantic or that we might proactively reach out to, doing what we call service requests. These can, for instance, vary widely from providing presentations about climate change impacts specific to a particular sector, like I recently spoke with real estate appraisers, to helping somebody find the data or information that they need to make a decision on a project. And if you're located in New Brunswick or your request is specific to New Brunswick, then you'll probably be linked up with me, or the same for the other provincial specialists. The most important thing to know about our services is that they are free and we're here to help you. That's our goal. Even if we're not able to directly help you ourselves, we have a very big network of connections across Atlantic Canada and at national level organizations as well. So we will be able to connect you with someone who can help you. As provincial specialists also, in addition to responding to service requests, we work to ensure that the particular needs or context of each of the 4 provinces is taken into account in CLIMAtlantic's wider work. This could look like us taking part in province-specific cohorts or case studies in CLIMAtlantic's projects, or perhaps me ensuring that bilingualism is taken into account in our work to meet New Brunswick's needs. I'll pass it on to Saper, our provincial specialist from Newfoundland, to give some specific examples from his work.
Thank you, Jenna. Hi, everyone. I'm Saper Khosravi, the Climate Services Specialist for Newfoundland with CLIMAtlantic. I'm hosted by Econex, a nonprofit organization that promotes green economic growth in Newfoundland and Labrador. As a provincial specialist, I support municipalities, sector representatives, provincial and Indigenous governments, NGOs, and individuals. Here is a quick overview of how I can support you, especially if you're working with or alongside a municipality. First, my primary focus is helping municipalities access the resources they need to adapt to climate change. This includes funding opportunities, data, training, and practical tools. If you're unsure where to begin, I can guide you through it step by step. We just need to have a quick chat. Second, I help communities and organizations make strategic connections to programs, subject matter experts, and even peer communities. Adaptation can be complex, but you are not alone. My role is to help you find the right support and partnerships. Next, I work with tourism sector through a partnership between CLIMAtlantic and Hospitality of Newfoundland and Labrador. We provide training and tools to help tourism operators understand the climate risks they face, like from shifts in seasonal patterns to extreme weather events, and how to plan ahead. I provide free one-on-one training sessions using our coastal adaptation toolkit. This is especially helpful for coastal communities and property owners dealing with erosion, sea level rise, or storm surges. The training is practical and hands-on. Next, I enjoy engaging with students and researchers who are exploring climate change adaptation. Whether you're looking for resources or want to discuss your work, I'm always happy to connect and support your knowledge sharing. And finally, I collaborate with NGOs that work directly with communities through outreach, emergency preparedness, and support for vulnerable groups. These partnerships are vital for ensuring climate change adaptation reaches those who need it most, and I'm always looking for new ways to strengthen this work. So if you're part of a municipality or work with one, let's connect. I'm here to build relationship and provide climate services. Now I will pass it on to Muntaka to speak about some of the tools CLIMAtlantic offers.
Thank you so much, Super, and hello everyone. My name is Mantaka, and I'm one of the climate services assistants with CLIMAtlantic, which I've been supporting various ongoing projects here. And I'm based in Manaquas, also known as St. John, New Brunswick. Like Super has mentioned, CLIMAtlantic offers a wide range of free tools, including the networking map that highlights individuals and organizations working in climate change adaptation, the Coastal Adaptation Toolkit, also known as CAT, which guides rural coastal communities as well as property owners to plan ahead, and the Adaptation Library, which is filled with various climate adaptation documents, tools, and products to support practitioners. So if you are interested in learning more about these tools, please visit the link that Rebecca has shared in the chat. You can also join our upcoming August webinar for a deeper dive into all of these tools. As well, details on how to register for the webinar will be shared with everyone on our post-event email as well as our newsletters. One of the other projects that I had a privilege supporting is the Climate Adaptation and Resilience Training Program, which is also known as the CART program. And this program is funded by the Natural Resource Canada and the Government of Nova Scotia to help address the training gap in Atlantic Canada in order to help grow and support the workforce that can tackle adaptation initiatives and enhance the adaptive capacity of the region. The CART program is a foundational and comprehensive program that is 12 weeks and part-time, covering topics including climate change information, data, risk assessment, adaptation approaches and tools, communication and engagement, relationship building, navigating governance levels, and adaptation process management. The structure of the course includes 6 online modules, personal reflections, and face-to-face training sessions, all alongside a provincial cohort. In our first cohort, we heard a lot of positive feedback, including participants really appreciating learning more about the diverse perspectives and Indigenous teachings to holistically understand climate change and adaptation. Participants also shared that they can frame conversations better now to get people to care and are feeling more aware about the tools that are available for them, as well as the resources and networks available in their provinces and across Atlantic Canada. Our next cohort will be starting in September 2025, which will also include a regional French cohort. And if you are interested in joining, more information about registering for our upcoming English and French cohorts will be shared on our newsletter and social media platforms this summer. Thank you, and I'll be passing it on to Trevor to share more about our projects on developing municipal and community services.
Thanks, Mintaka. So I'm fairly new with CLIMAtlantic, coming from the municipal space, and I'm the Municipal Climate Resilience Coordinator. So under the umbrella of Municipal Community Services, CLIMAtlantic strives to provide programs and services to municipalities and communities across the adaptation spectrum, from pre-adaptation to implementation. Through its new program, funded by the Federation of Canadian Municipalities, or FCM, CLIMAtlantic will now provide communities with low barrier training and support. The program can facilitate mutual learning and capacity building. The Building Community Adaptation Capacity is what we are calling it, or BCAC program will develop tailored support services, resources, and identify funding opportunities aimed at developing capacity and supporting collaborative activities, focusing on community needs and climate risk assessments. By bridging gaps and facilitating connections to specialized expertise to support participants at various stages of their collaboration, communities will engage in valuable knowledge co-creation activities. I will now pass it on to Anna to talk about some of our engagement activities and communities of practice.
Thanks so much, Trevor. Yeah, so I'm going to be chatting about our communities of practice and some of our engagement activities. This by no means is comprehensive of all of the engagement activities that we are working on, but really excited to highlight some of the things that we're doing in addition to all of the amazing projects and services that we offer. The events and engagement activities that we host and participate in have brought together people on a wide range of topics from across Atlantic Canada to discuss funding opportunities, to network, to hear about adaptation projects across the region, and more. And so one key way that we do this is through our regional communities of practice. We have the Nova Scotia Climate Adaptation Community of Practice, the Newfoundland and Labrador Working Group. We work with some other organizations in New Brunswick on the New Brunswick Climate Change Adaptation Collaborative and the PEI Change Network as well. These communities have continued to grow and be supported by various members of our team and, of course, all of our provincial specialists in each province. And each of these networks has different priorities for their region. And if you're working in climate change adaptation and interested in joining a community of practice, please reach out to me and I can connect you with the right folks to get involved in the community of practice in your region. Some other engagement activities that we host are these webinars. So that's a great example. These webinars have been happening since October and really work to share information, to tell stories, to bring people together and highlight different networks. Another example of engagement activities that we've been doing is our idea exchanges and funding discussions, and these continue to be a highlight and really allow people to come together to learn more about funding opportunities that are available and to connect people and organizations for potential collaborations on those funding opportunities. So if you're interested in further engagement with CLIMAtlantic, please reach out to me and we can get you connected to the right people and groups. And I think my email went in the chat, so that's perfect. Feel free to reach out. So that concludes our presentation portion of the webinar. Thank you to all of the team members who presented.